In this video, we're going to go through on the Nanyang Primary School Primary 5 Term 2 weighted assessment. So let's get started. Okay, so the first question is find the area of the shaded triangle, in this case over here. All right. So first thing is that to just recap, the area of a triangle is equal to half times base times height. Okay. So in this case, where do we get the base, right? And where do we get the height? So the base and the height in this case are always, these two are always perpendicular. Okay, perpendicular meaning that it's always meeting each other in a 90-degree angle in this case. All right, so first is where do you think the base is? All right, so if you were to say, let me just move this over here. If you see the base, it's over here, then you're right. Okay. So at the same time, where is the height? The height itself is actually over here. So this is the height. Okay, because the base itself it's this red line. Okay, and the height in this case meets with the base. And usually this is, we call it like the dotted lines in this case, right? So that's the height and that is the base because they both meet each other in a 90-degree or perpendicular. So now you know where's the base and height. That's the first most important thing. The second thing is what is the base and height measurement. So we know that one side of a square is 1 centimeters. So we can actually calculate, right? So the base is 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the base itself is 6 centimeters. And what about the height? The height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the height itself is also 6 centimeters. So that means in this case, we can just have it. Okay, I'm going to put this, resize it like this. So perpendicular. Oops. All right, like this. Okay, so then that means it's half times 6 times 6, which in this case, if we cancel this to 3, this will be 18. So the answer is 18 centimeter square. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 2. In the figure below, ABCD is a rectangle. AGB, so AG, sorry, AGB, BEC, so BEC, DFC, DFC are straight lines. Okay, so DF is equal to FC. So DF is equal to FC, meaning this is the same distance, right? I'm going to put the dash to make it as same distance. And BE is equal to EC. So this is the same. I'm going to put red line. Whoops, black line cause can't really see. So I'm going to put red lines here. So in this case, find the total area of the shaded part. So first thing is pretty straightforward. We need to just get the area of the non-shaded part minus the rectangle. So if I were to write this down, so rectangle, let me put this in black, rectangle minus, so we can just say triangle A and triangle B. So triangle A minus triangle B, and this is the shaded parts. Okay, so shaded parts. Right. So triangle A is basically triangle GDF in this case. GDF. So we need to know what is the base and height. Okay. So in this case, the base for triangle GDF is over here. This is the base, right? And the height, it's here. So the dashed lines, this is the height. Okay. So in this case, the height is the same as the height of the rectangle, which is 12 cm. 12 cm. And what about the base? Since we know, okay, this is a bit, okay, so let me try. So since we know that this df is equal to fc, that means it's half, right? So of 22 centimeters. So the area of GDF, so if I were to just make this a little bit better, GDF, okay, let me erase this as well. So GDF is equal to half times base times height. Okay. And we know the base over here is df. And we know the height here is g something, right? Or just height itself. Okay. So we just have the height, right? So df is basically the length of the, what is this? The length of the rectangle divided by 2, which is 11. So the base is 11 and the height is 12. Okay, so it's half times 11 times 12. And in this case, if you were to cancel, this will be 66 centimeter square. So that's GDF. What about triangle P, which is at EFC, right? So EFC, triangle EFC. So where's the base and height? So roughly the base is similar, which is FC, and the height is EC, right? So EC is half of 12 centimeters. So 12 centimeters divided by 2, this will be 6 centimeters. So that means the height of this is 6 centimeters, right? So triangle EFC is equal to half times. So the height is 6 and the base is 12 in this case over here, right? So the base is not 12, sorry, 11. Okay, so 12, this is 11. So that means this is 3 times 11, 33 centimeter square. All right, now we want to get the area of the rectangle. So the shaded parts is equal to this case over here. So I'm just going to move this down below. Oops, I moved the 11. So I'm just going to move this down below. Oops, you see. You know what? I'm just going to move everything down. Okay, so shaded parts equal to rectangle. So rectangle itself is basically 22 times 12 minus GDF, which is 66 minus 33. So let's have the 22 times 12 in this case. So 22 times 12. So 4 and 4, 2 and 2. This will be plus 264, right? So we have 264 minus 66 minus 33. So this should be 165 centimeters square, right? There you go. So that's the answer. 165 centimeter square. All right, let's move on to the next question. Right, the figure below shows a solid made out of 1 centimeter cube. Find the volume of the solid in this case. So let's look at the cubes over here. So thing is that there's actually 3 layers. So the first layer, right? So this first layer, we have the second layer over here, and we have the third layer over here, right? So we can actually count it. So the first layer is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, and then 1, 2, and 3. So first layer, Let's write it down. First layer is equal to 5 times 3, which is 15 centimeter cube, right? Then second layer, the green one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well, and 1, 2. Okay, so that means it's 5 times 2. So second is 5 times 2, which is 10 centimeter cube. And then last one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. So we have 4 times 2. Third, so 4 times 2, which is equal to 8 centimeter cube. So if we were to add them up, so it's 15 plus 10 plus 8. This will give us 25 plus 8 is 33. So the answer is 33 in this case over here. Let's move on to the next question. Draw the front view and side view of the solid on the grids below. Right. So the front view, if I have to remove everything here. Okay. So the front view looks something like this, where you have, let me just highlight as well. So you have one, and then this, and then same, and this. So essentially, it is basically uh 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 1, 2, and 3. So it's 5 by 3. So 5 times 3 for top view. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do for the top view itself. Oh no, there's no top view. So it's looking only for the front view and the side view. Okay, so front view, let's do the front view first. Okay, so front view essentially is this front view. Okay, so this is the front view. We have this as well, and then we also have this. Okay, so if you were to count, it's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then with 1, 2, 3 layers, but we have one missing. So you can see that it will look something like this, like this. Okay, so it's 5 by 3 with one missing on the right. Okay, so that's how we're gonna draw the front view. So what we can do is we can just draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, in this case. And then we have 3 as the height. 1, 2, 3. And then it's gonna be 4 cubes across without this, like this. Okay, and then we can just draw it out as what we see over here. Okay, right, and like this. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, it will look something like this. Okay, do use a ruler. Okay, next one is side view. So the side view, let me just erase this. Okay, so the side view itself, it's over here. So you have 1, you have 2, and you have 3. Okay, so it looks something like this. We have 1 like that, and then something like this. So you have 3 layers, and then you have 3 on the base, but 2 missing over here. Okay, so it looks like a very thick L, right? So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna have 1, 2, 3 as the base, and then we have 3 as the height, but there's only 2 cubes on the left, so it's gonna be like this, right? And then we're gonna draw as what we see over here. Okay, and so it looks like a, oops, it's not 2 layers. Okay, all right, it looks something like this, right? So there's only 1 layer at the bottom and then 2 layers at the, so sorry, so it's 3, 2, and 2. Okay, so it's the same here, 3, 2, and 2. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 4. Sam, Abu, Ravi, and Question 4. Sam, Abu, and Ravi went jogging. They jogged 6,100 meters in total, and Sam jogged 0.447 kilometers more than Abu, and Ravi jogged 0.8 kilometers less than Sam. Express the total distance they jogged in kilometers. So first thing is that we know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters, right? So it's the same as 1000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. And how we do that is basically we divide by 1000. So for meters to kilometers, we divide by 1000 in this case. So how much is then 6100 meters? We basically have 6100 divided by 1000. And this will be 6.1 kilometers. Okay, so 6.1 kilometers. All right, let's move on to the next question. How far did Ravi jog? Okay, so let's read the question. So Sam jogged 0.447 kilometers more than Abu. All right, so we're gonna do the model drawing. So we have Sam and we have Abu, right? So Sam over here is just a normal one in this case, and then Abu over here. So Sam jogged more. So Abu is not a lot. Okay, in this case. So how much more? He jogged in this case 0.447 kilometers. So this is 0.447 km more. So Sam uh, jogged more than Abu. And then lastly, Ravi, he jogged less than Sam, 0.8. Okay, so that means it's roughly around here, almost two times Abu. So in this case, who jogged less? Ravi, right? So Ravi jogged less. How much less? In this case, it is 0.8 kilometers, right? And the total that we have over here is 6.1 kilometers, right? So in this case, we actually can get uh, the different thing over here. So what we're looking for is we want to get Ravi. How much did Ravi jog? So does that mean that if we get the missing piece, we are able to get the equal parts, and then we can know how much Ravi has jogged, right? So first is we have 6.1 plus 0.447 plus 0.8. So this is the total. So I'm gonna use my calculator. 6.1 plus 0.447 plus zero point 0.8. This will be 7.347. 7.347. Now we can divide to get the individual parts, right? Divide by 3. So 7.347 divided by 3. This will give us 2.449. And now with this, we know that each individual, so if everything is filled up, is 2.449. So now we just need to minus 0.8. So in this case, 2.449 minus 0.8. So if you were to 2.449 minus zero point 0.8, then this will be 1.649. Okay, so the answer is 1.649 kilometers. All right, that's it for question 4. Let's move on to question 5. So question 5 here says a rectangular tank measuring 40, 20, and 12 contain 2,400 milliliters of water. What was the volume of the tank? So volume of tank is basically length times breadth times height. So it's 40 times 20 times 12, right? So it's basically, if I were to mental calculation, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 12 is 96, put two zeros is 9,600 milliliters, right? So 9,600, but the volume is not milliliters, we want cm cube. So cm cube in this case, 9,600 cm cube, right? Let's move on to the next question. Question B for question 5. Right, so a cubicle container was filled with water to the brim. some of the water from the cubicle container was poured into the tank until the tank was 3 out of 4 full. There were 1,300 milliliters water left in the cubicle container, right? What was the capacity of the cubicle container? Give your answer in liters. So in this case, we already know how much water is there, right? So let's write it down. Okay, so before it was 2,400 milliliters. Okay, so now a cubicle container was filled with water. Some of the water was poured into the tank until the tank was 3/4 full. Okay, so we need to get the volume of the tank, and then we get 3/4 of it, right? So that means in this case, water 3 out of 4 times 9,600 centimeter cube, right? So we can just have 9,600 divided by 4, and then 2,400, and then times 3. So the answer here is 7,200 cm cube, or 7,200 milliliters of water inside. Okay, so the thing is that this is the after, right? So before is 2,400 milliliters, after 7,200. So water added is basically after minus before, right? Before equal to 7,200 minus 2,400. Okay, 7,200. So 72 minus 24, this will be 48, 4,800 milliliters, right? So now we know what's the water added. Then there were 1,332. So that means the cubic container is 4,800 milliliters, or no need milliliters, plus 1,032. Okay, so in this case 4,800 plus 1,032, this should be 5,832 milliliters, or 1 milliliter, 1,000 milliliter is equal to 1 liters. So it's basically divided by 1,000, which is 5.832 liters. So the answer is 5.832 liters in this case. All right. Let's move on to the last question, question 6. The table below shows the charges for sending parcels. So up to 3 kg, $10, up to 5, up to 10, more than 10, and up to 30. First 10 is this, every additional. So Nancy sent 2 parcels with mass 4.6 kg and 12.5. How much did she pay all together? All right. So in this case, there is 2 different types of parcels. When it says up to 3 kg or up to 5 kg, that means if I have a parcel that is 4 kg, right? Is it up to 3 kg? Does that mean this is 3 kg or less? So up to means up to 3 kg is the same as saying, is it 3 kg or less, right? So that's what up to means. Okay, so 4 kg is not really up to 3 kg, it's actually up to 5 kg because it's 5 kg and less. Okay, so in this case we have 4.6, so 4.6 kg, right? In this case is up to 5 kg, because up to 3 kg is not 3 kg or less, right? It's more than 3 kg. So that means for 4.6 kg, it's equal to, it's not equal to, but it's $18. What about 12.5? So is it up to 10 kg? No, because 12.5 kg is more than 10 kg. So that means we have to go to the last one, which is more than 10 kg and up to 30 kg. So in this case, this box over here, or this row, it says here the first 10 kg is $35, and every additional kilogram or less is $4.50. So for the 12.5 kg, we have the first 10 kg over here, which is $35. So we have $35, right? So this is basically 10 kg, right? 10 kg. Then we are left with 2.5. So it says here every additional kilogram. So that means 1 kilogram over here or less, each 1 kilogram or less is equal to dollars 4.5, right? So in 2.5 kg, that means we need to charge it 1 kilogram, 1 kg, right? And lastly, zero point 0.5 kg. That means we need to multiply it by 3, right? So in this case over here, we need to multiply $4.50 by 3. Okay, so plus $4.5 times 3. So 4.5 times 3 is $13.50, right? Plus 35. So in this case, $48.50. Okay, the answer is dollars 40. All right, and then we need to add all of them up. Which is in this case 48.5 plus 18. This will give us $66.50. Right, the answer is 66.50. Right, let's move on to the next question. Mrs. Siva wants to send 35 kg of rice to a shop. As she cannot send any parcel with more than 30, she decides to pack them into 2 smaller parcels. What is the least possible amount of money she must pay for this? Right. So in this case, we can pack into 2 parts. Okay, the first part, so 35 kg, right? So the first part is basically we can put it as 10 kg in this case. So this is $35. So this is 10 kg. And then the second kg, I mean, left with 25, right? Okay. So what we can do is we can have another 10 in this case, $35. So this is in the 25, we will split them into 10 kg. And then this will be 15 kg. Okay. So we only can do this in 2 smaller parcels. So 15 kg is basically for each kilogram in this box over here, it is 4.5. So that means this will be 15 times 4.5, and this will give us 67.5. So if we add all up, 35 plus 35 plus 67.5, so $70 plus 67.5, this will give us $137.50 in this case over here, right? $137.5. Okay. All right, and that's it for P5 Maths Weighted Assessment 2 for Nanyang 2024.